Yeah, so you here with RG the King, better known as RG, man. 7-figure street guy, making them things out there. But, through my adversities, I made a change. Through reading his books and understanding more about credit, I changed it, man. So we here on the podcast, Think Slow, and we got my boy Corey P. Smith with us. What's going on today, y'all, man? What's up, Corey, man? I'm glad you finally made it down into the big city, man. And I'm glad you made it. But you know why we here today, man. I want you to do a little bit of introducing yourself today. We here with Corey Smith, man. Credit guru. Right. Most of them people that y'all see today got these sauce from my guy Corey. Serial entrepreneur in different industries, real estate. Tell me more about it, man. Tell me what's up. Talk to me.
Well, I'll just say this. A lot of people might know me from my books, Conspiracy of Credit, How to Outsmart the Credit Bureaus, Unbreakable Laws of Business Credit, the Credit Dictionary, the Game of Credit, and Credit is for Poor People. A lot of people know me from those books. They really don't know who I am. I talk to a lot of guys that's, been behind bars for 5 or more years, and they talk about how they had access to my books, which helped them, re-enter into society, which I'm happy about. But I am, in fact, my name Corey P. Smith. I am a serial entrepreneur. I guess one of my businesses is book publishing. That's where a lot of the information that I use today, as far as navigating the business world, come from. That was my foundation, because I learned a whole lot researching the credit bureaus, researching the banks. So I learned a lot through that process, which enabled me to invest in real estate. Took some losses there, but I learned a whole lot. I just got into this transportation thing with trucking. I've always invested in transportation. Like, I have 5 stocks, that I have always invested in. Those 5 stocks, I never looked to sell them. I just always wanted to hold them, for the sake, if I ever get in a jam, then, I can go liquidate them. But that's the gist of it for people who really, want to know who I am. But you know me, I just like to give people good information that they can use to try to enhance their lives, enhance their businesses.
And that you do, man, because you done gave me some information I done use, man.
Real,
I appreciate that, man. I gotta get that to you. I appreciate that. But I want to ask you a question, man. What are some keys to being a successful entrepreneur?
Some keys? I just say, from this having the mindset and the personality, I say one thing that you must have in order to be a successful entrepreneur is you can't quit. I just always say that you can't quit. You have to stay focused, and you have to stay in your lane. And what I mean by that, like, I always tell people I never veered away from, once I got to writing books, I never veered away from that. I always knew, I'm just gonna stay in this lane. No matter what everybody else was doing, I'm gonna stay in this lane. Because I looked at writing books, once I got into it, I looked at it like music, It has music, or even television shows. It has staying power. Like, it'll outlast me. And so I just continued to build that over the years. I stayed focused on that. Of course, I ventured off into other things, but my main thing was the books. And that came from me being focused. It came from me not quitting. And that came from me having tunnel vision, I never focused on the things that was on the outside. Like, you see people, they kind of jump on trends. Like, you got a lot of people doing one thing over here, people want to try it out. It's like, I always tell people, my dad used to always tell me, if you see 1 million people going west and 100 people going east, which group you gonna follow? And I always say that the 100 people, because obviously they know something that the masses don't know. So, yeah, I would say those are the main things. And you got to do your research, because you're not always gonna know for sure if you looking to get into some type of business. You're not gonna always know if it's the right thing, because I made that mistake. You know, I just had wide eyes when I was young, because I wanted to be rich. So I was real, you know, spontaneous, and I was a real risk taker. But I wasn't strategic with the risks that I was taking, which caused me to lose a lot of money, which caused me to make a lot of bad investments.
Yeah, you rolled right into one of my other questions. My other question was, how do you decide a business venture is the right business?
How do you decide? Like I said, I'll do my research. I'll do my research on the business. I'll look and see how many other people are in this particular lane. I'll look to see like if it's a real money maker, and you can do that. Like if let's say like real estate. If I'm trying to decide whether I want to invest in a particular area or not, like a lot of people don't know, you can go look at the plan for the city. What I mean, like you can go look at the plan for the city, meaning like the plan for the city is the direction that the city is going in. Like, hey, man, they looking to build over here. They looking to bring a Starbucks over here, or a mall over here, or a Target, you know. And that lets me know, okay, this is where I need to get ahead of the game and invest in, you know, some property over here. So I would say that, but even with doing research, it's still not always a guarantee, but it gives you some legway, you know, onto whether making a decision or not, whether to invest in that particular area. So.
Great answer, man. Sit like you did before, you done paved the way for so many of us, and we followed, and I'm glad you gave us that sauce. But are there any investments that you would recommend for some of the new people that's coming into being an entrepreneur, or some of the younger people that's trying to follow in your footsteps?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like for any of the young people, if you got a little bread laying around, I say set you up an E-Trade account. And like for me, like I said, I invest in cargo shipping. I invest in a couple of trucking companies, and I invest in one energy company. But I don't invest to look like people let me buy and sell the stock. I hold it because, one, I know cargo shipping, and I know trucking, you know, transportation period is not going anywhere. I'm testing the waters with energy, and it's been kind of up and down, but I feel confident that those will never go nowhere. The reason why I say that is because you're gonna always need those cargo ships. You're gonna always need those trucks on the road. Like you look, if you just, you know, if you don't know nothing about trucking and nothing about shipping, you know, they always been there, you know. So I would, if I had to give somebody some advice, and it's easy, because you can easily dump money into your, you know, your stock account, whether it's a couple of $100 a month or $1,000 a month, and just hold it. And you'll look up, you have plenty of bread in case you ever need to liquidate something go bad. So that's my recommendation. If somebody was looking to invest in something other than a brick and mortar business or some type of business, you know, because even if you're looking at the economy now, like I say, I'm at a standstill for trying to do something new. Like, you know, we just got Trump in office, so okay, I'm gonna give him a good year in office, and then I'm ready to make some moves, because we'll be able to kind of tell which way the economy is really gonna go with him being in office this second time. You know, give him a good year, let him get his feet settled, and then I say, okay, this what's going on. I know the banks either loose or they tight. They ready to loan, or they ain't ready to loan. You know, and that kind of gives me an idea on which direction that I need to go in.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I like that. So you saying, man, if we sit back and we watch what's going on, pay attention to the politics, and you can see watch where the money move, and that's when you make your move.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
I just look at people are so emotional when it comes to politics, and they can hear snippets or bits and pieces of what one politician might say, and they run with it. And they don't know, they not understanding the whole story behind these politicians. Like, for one, you got to understand, man, they somewhat like a wrestling match. They all on the same side. They all gonna go kick it at the have drinks at the social club or whatever, And it's not. I posed this question on one of the podcasts I was on. I asked the three people on there. I said, how often do you run across a homeless person? When you run across a homeless person and they ask you for $1, do you give it to them? And if you do give it to them, do you care? Like, do you care about if you give a homeless person $1 or not? Like, when you walk away, do you care about them? Like, I'm asking.
Nah. I give it to them. I just give it to them.
All right, so I always tell them you can look at politics their way. They can give you a little bit, but at the end of the day, they really don't care. They really don't care. So, you have to pick and choose and plan for you and yours. So that's how I always looked at it. Like, I ain't get too caught up into, man, whether it's Donald Trump gonna get in the office or Kamala Harris gonna get in the office. Like, I'm just gonna do what I do. Once whoever gets placed, I'm just gonna watch and see how they move. Give them a good year, and you can tell a lot about which direction the economy is going in. And then I make my move. I would say, with Trump, he might be a better fit for me because I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to somebody who work a 9 to 5. And it's some people out there that get emotional about that, but I mean, to each his own.
Agreed, man. I like that answer, man. Like you said, someone gonna get in their feelings off emotion by something that ain't even,
It ain't about nothing.
It's the facts. The numbers will what add up.
Right.
But how long you been in the trucking industry?
Man, about a good year, like a year and a half, rather. Because what I did, I knew that I wanted to get into it, but I really wanted to know the business. Like, and that's with anything that I've ever done. Like, if I want to get into something, like, I really got to learn the business. I want to know the business from start to finish. So I actually went to truck driving school. I actually took a job with a company because I wanted to do OTR, over the road trucking. I wanted to know what it felt like to drive in the mountains. I wanted to know what it felt like to drive in the snow. I wanted to know what it felt like to have a blowout. I wanted to know what it felt like to have an air leak. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know what it felt like to drive over a bridge. Because I ain't gonna lie, when I first got in the truck, going over the first bridge, I was like, oh, this ain't what it was kind of scary. But I wanted to know those things because I said, if I'm gonna have somebody in my truck or my trucks, then I want to know what they, what the experience is really like. So I got in the trucking about a year and a half ago. Got a couple of trucks. Then even after I got out the dry van, after I learned all that and I got out the dry van, I went and took another job with a small company in Mississippi because I wanted to learn how to drive the dump trucks. So I took that job, but it really was good for me because when I took the job, they taught me how to drive, haul on the gooseneck. They taught me, how to drive the tanker, learn how to drive the dump truck. So now, I actually just bought my first dump truck like a few weeks ago. It was actually sitting in my cousin's house, and my cousin, a young dude, he actually just got his CDLs, but he don't know how to drive the dump. But I'm gonna teach him how to drive the dump, and he gonna be my first drive on that. But I'm excited about that because you got a lot of people on the internet that try to make you believe that you're gonna get rich in trucking, like, but I'm telling you the truth. It ain't gonna happen like that overnight. You can make decent money, you know what I'm saying? You be fair to your driver, pay them what they need to be paid and get your cut, put your money aside for maintenance. And keep it moving, save your money, and grow your company. Try to become a minority supplier. So once you get your trucks, once you get so many trucks, you can get contracts with companies like Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So I say, this. I'm actually excited about the opportunities that lie here, because I know this is an industry that I can still grow in, even with all the government regulations that they put in place, So, yeah.
Yeah. You say that you did stocks. You said get an E-Trade account and go and get some stocks. Yeah. Would you say that your vision and you're able to see what's going on in stocks made you want to get into the trucking industry, knowing that how the GOP is moving and everything?
Maybe a little bit, but I just kind of watched a friend of mine. His dad had been in the trucking for years, but we was tight, and his dad had like 11 trucks, and he had contracts with Walmart for years, and his dad eventually passed. But he left him their business, and I really admired the fact that even after his dad died, he was able to maintain and keep that business going, and he grew it a little bit more than what his dad had given him. So I looked at that, I was like, man, there's something that it'll take a while, but that's doable. I know that I have the brains to do it. I know that I have the ambition to do it, you know what I'm saying, and the motivation. So the stocks a little, they got something to do with it. But even if I found another stock that I said I could buy, that I know, like, I ain't no need of me selling it, because I know that it's not going nowhere, and I can just grow it, I would invest in it.
So for all the brothers that's coming out, because you said you like to do prison reform and everything, all the brothers coming out of prison, because in prison right now, I can tell you, them boys say trucking where it's at, man. I get my CDLs, I'm jumping on the road.
Right.
I ain't got to worry about nobody telling me what to do. What advice you can give them? See, they go in the industry wide open like they think thinking there's a lot of money. There's still money to be made.
Yeah.
Enough money to be made in the trucking industry.
Yeah, it's money to be made in it. It's definitely money to be made in it, but I just think the narrative that a lot of people online trying to portray, for whatever reason, where they trying to sell something that, oh, you're going to get rich. You're not going to get rich. And people have to really think about, man, what is really being rich? You know what I'm saying? It don't happen overnight like that. Like for me, I like to build machines. And what I mean by build a machine, that means like I built a business. Whether I go to work, whether I don't, if I don't go to work for 3 weeks, I'm still gonna get paid from that business. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So that's what I believe in. Even like the books. When I told you I stayed focused on the books, no matter like if I don't write another book for 3-4 years, I'm still gonna get paid off the books that I have out. Like I did an interview maybe a week or so ago, and the guy was like, asked me, what's the overall amount that you made off books? I said about $3 million, right? And people look at, $3 million, but they don't understand my books picked up, and that's something I've been selling for 20 years. So $3 million is not even a lot of money if you stretch it out over 3 years. It's decent, but it's not a lot. You know what I'm saying? Let alone to talk about, like, I've lost money with trying to do different things, in real estate. Like I could think of one deal that this was back in 2007. I put up a lot of bread to do like the condo development, and I lost on it, because I'm like I said, I want to be rich, and I was making the money from credit because I was doing the shell corps, going to get the lines of credit. So I was getting $100,000 in lines of credit a week. So the money was flowing. So somebody come along and be like, hey, you invest $300,000 in this, it's gonna do this, whoop-de-whoop, and it don't do that. And I put my $300 grand in it, and I lost. But for the people that's coming out, yeah, you can go in it. It'll give you some freedom as you hop into that. You can look to doing other things, but don't go into it thinking that you're gonna get rich. And when you get out there on that road, man, it's not like what you think. it ain't like you're gonna be having a lot of fun. You know, it might be fun in the beginning, and then it's gonna kick in like, hey, I'm out here away from family. I'm out here away from. It's just me out here. Unless you team driving and that ain't always the best because you get into it with the people you know what I'm saying. You team driving with. So I say, yeah, go into it, but don't go into it thinking, hey, I'm gonna get rich. The main thing I tell guys that's coming out of jail, like, man, just look at yourself, look at how you look on paper. Get yourself straight on paper. What I mean by that is your credit. Because that's all you got when you come out of jail. Unless you know somebody's going to put some cash in your hand. Man, look, hey, focus on, like, I need to look solid on paper. Look solid on paper, put together a little business, and then go to the bank and try to get a business loan. And just be smart about what you invest in, whether it's buying you a truck and being an owner-operator and growing from there, or whether it's buying you a dump truck. Because a lot of people don't know, like, for a lot of guys that's doing OTR and want to be home, man, they might need to look into that dump truck. It's local and it's still making bread. Like, depending on where you at, it slows down when it gets cold, but you can make a lot of money in the dump truck business. You know, so there's something else to look at, and you don't have to be out there on that road. So I hope that, you know, helps somebody.
I agree with that. You were speaking about them getting their credit fixed and getting that'll be like a step. Because the reason why I say that, because I done walked up on. I went to reentries after I got out.
Yeah.
I went to certain reentries and I preached the same thing you just said.
Credit, yeah.
I say, bro, if you want to get out and get a handout, you don't need a handout from no nigga homeboys. You can fix your credit. Because when I came home, I put off the stuff that I read in your books. Right. I done pulled the trigger, and I done hit for like 70,000 when I came home. I have a few buttons I pressed. Or that what Corey said?
Yeah.
Boom, I hit for 70,000.
Yeah.
That gave me cushion to be able to build what I'm building now, and I finally got to meet you, man. So it's definitely a pleasure and an honor. So, do you feel that the credit repair game has changed?
Yeah, it's changed. But it changed. When I say it's changed like, you know, everything is like, when you talking about anything, whether it's credit, whether it's the internet, whatever it is, like technology. So credit has changed from the standpoint is the technology. So you can't do a lot of the things that you used to do because they got so much, you know, technology involved, software. So like, I'll say like one of the things, cause I used to have, I still use credit investors. So with using credit investors, you know, I like to control the addresses because I want to know where all the mail is coming to. And this is something small, but it's big. Well, you have to do the mail forwarding, right? You have to fill out their name, whatever address is on their credit report. You have to forward all their mail to one particular address. You used to just fill out the mail forwarding form and drop it in the mail. You can't do that now. You got to go in with your driver's license and in fact verify, hey, this me changing my mail, and it has to be scanned. So things like that, or even like the secondary accounts, like let's say Cop Logic was to be, that was a system that we used to use back in the day when, you know, people using police reports. Well, guess who bought Cop Logic? You might as well say Equifax because LexisNexis bought it. So, you know, so I say credit has changed from that standpoint. But like with anything, you just got to figure out the ins and outs and overcome it. Like if you're trying to use some of the old tactics, yeah, they might not work because the software, technology has gotten a little bit better. So just like everybody else is on the internet, everybody else is reading and seeing things, credit bureaus doing the same thing. They on the internet. they hearing everything when you talk about Navy, Federal. Like I just say this, you know, we got my homeboy right behind you. He can tell you like probably in 2014 we sitting, Navy was sweet. He can tell you like, man, one in a matter of 5 minutes, I hit for 90,000 with Navy. It's a little bit harder It's a little bit harder today. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So people have to keep that in mind when we talk about as credit changed. Yeah, it's changed, but the system is still the same. You just gotta up your game.
Agreed. For the people who don't know that's watching this, tell them about some of your books, man. Tell them about how many books you wrote, what they were based on, what they should go look for.
Right. Well, the first book that I actually put out was How to Outsmart the Credit Bureau. And I put that book out strictly because I was just angry, you know, because I had did everything that they told me to do, you know, went to school, you know, trying to do the right thing. I wasn't making no money, you know, I wasn't making no bread. And then I figured like, man, how I'm gonna get my hands on some money, credit. So once I started research that just led me to some other things with business credit and all that. But How to Outsmart the Credit Bureau, that was the first book that I put out. And after that, I put out The Conspiracy of Credit, put out The Unbreakable Laws of Business Credit, I put out The Credit Dictionary, I put out Credit is for Poor People, I put out The Game of Credit, and then I finished one book. I just hadn't put it out yet. It was on, you know, I had to tweak it a little bit, and that's The Credit Investor. And then I got another book coming out in March called Education is Overrated. You know, so those are all of my books. And I wouldn't say, I'll say get all of them if you can, because they're not real expensive books. But all of my books are connected in some way. Like I tell a story, but I'm connecting the dots in all of the books. You know, I looked at me writing the books like a puzzle. Like how does this fit? How does this piece fit with this piece? And that's how I kind of have written them. Probably sometime next year I'll put a book out on shell corps, like teaching people, you know, really how to build their own shell corps, as opposed to going to people and paying thousands of dollars to, you know, build one. You know, people just got, man, I say this, my books, I just really be trying to get people to think. Like, I'll say a friend of mine, I'm gonna say this real fast. A friend of mine called me, he had bought my course, and somebody else that he know I knew, he was finna buy something from them. And, you know, and he was just asking me, Corey, like, please call me back. I wanna know before I get my bread, is this the best fit for me? Because what they were doing, they was charging them to say, hey, I'll take your company public. And I actually know the guy that he was talking about. And I wasn't gonna throw him under the bus, but what I did, I just asked him this. I said, think about this. When a company goes public, why do they go public? Why do they go public? And he said, he's like, they got value. I said, does your company have value? Why would people want to invest in your company? Oh, they wouldn't. I said, you answer your own question. So,
how did you go about getting your distribution and your publishing company?
First company that I reached out to get my distribution was Baker and Taylor, and this guy named Robin Bright was real cool because I had all my paperwork set up. Like my company was, it was legit. It was, incorporated. I had everything together, but I still was considered a self-published company. But because I still was considered a self-published author because I had only one title. But he still gave me distribution through Baker and Taylor, and the book sold enough for me to get some other titles, distribute through Baker and Taylor, and then from there, of course with Amazon and Ingram and Audible, things just picked up and never stopped. I built a fan base over the years, so people that, like I said, people that don't even know me, anything I put out, they gonna buy it. Even if I don't promote it, or they gonna buy it. Audible right now, Audible promotes How to Outsmart the Credit Bureau. So when I see an ad, a sponsored ad through Audible, and I see my book up there beside books like To Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, a book that I looked at when I was young, I was like, man, and I look like, man, my book is right beside his. man, I can't say nothing but I'm grateful, So, but that's pretty much how I started with the distribution, and then it was a learning process, like because when I first published that book, I didn't know about editing, I didn't know about typesetting, I didn't know about getting the book cover design, I didn't know about the binding, the spine or nothing like that. But once I got that mastered, then I didn't look back. So, and I'm still learning to this day. I'm still, trying to learn new ways to maximize how can I make money off the books. Like right now, I'm in the process of getting all my books translated to Spanish, Swahili, and Chinese, because those are 3 big languages. So I think like once I get those translated and they are really available like that, especially Swahili, like that'll pick up the book sale.
So you got people asking for your stuff way in other countries, huh?
Yeah. The book still like right now, because I guess they speak English. Like I sell a lot of books in Europe.
Okay.
Sell a lot of books in Canada. Sell books in Australia. But I feel like if I could tap into some other markets like Spanish, and Swahili and Chinese, like that's big because you have a lot of people from those countries that migrate to the U.S.
Right.
So if they can learn about our system, or just learn a little bit, they'll buy the product. So
getting the sauce worldwide, huh?
Man, yeah.
That's what's up. I like that. And where we can really find your book at? What about Audible? How is Audible?
Yeah, Audible, like I said, Audible is because the world's so fast now, a lot of people like to just listen to Audible. They can do it while they're working out. They can do it while they're driving. Truck drivers can listen to Audible while they're on the road. So that has really picked up, like I said, since Audible took it upon themselves and to promote my book. Like I don't pay them anything, but they sponsor my book. So by them sponsoring one book, people get it. They're like, man, what else does he have? So that caused the sales on my other books to pick up.
As an entrepreneur, how do you feel social media has it helped entrepreneurs or hurt entrepreneurs?
I think that's a two-edged sword. I think it helps. I think it has helped the entrepreneurs that really understand, what trying to be a business owner really is. I think it's really helped those people. But on the flip side, for somebody who may have been like me when I was young and just wide open and didn't understand, like they fall for every little story, like, and they I always say they look at it, they listening with their eyes and not their ears, so they easily fooled, about what's real and what's fake, as opposed to somebody who's really an entrepreneur. They listening with their ears, they doing their research, they paying attention. It's not like you can't fool a real entrepreneur with a lifestyle video. You can't do that with jewelry or cars. Like you couldn't fool me with that because I'm not gonna take the bait. So I'm gonna look at that 9 times out of 10 and be like, oh, you really don't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? That just may be a cushion for your insecurities. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like what you got on. Like, I got that on up under here. Like, I ain't got to prove to nobody, like, what I got, how much money I got, none of that. And then I always tell people, man, a millionaire, you think a millionaire wake up and be like, man, I want to make 300 people rich. I'm finna tell them exactly how I did it. Nah. I can tell you what industries I'm in, but I really can't tell you how to get rich. That's a road that you have to travel on your own. You're gonna have different dips and bumps and mountains and valleys. And then it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a different path. And you have to individually navigate your way through that. So like I said, I think it's been a blessing and a curse for some people. If you're smart enough to listen with your ears and observe with your eyes, then you might be okay. But if they catch you slipping and they can fool you, then you just gonna be like I was. You're gonna waste a lot of money. You're gonna run yourself in circles.
I like that. You remind me of my grandma. My grandma said, God gave you 2 ears and 2 eyes for a reason, and 1 mouth. So I remember you just brought that back. How do you feel about others' opinion about you?
I don't. There's people, there's stuff online about me. You know, I ain't gonna say I'm a saint. You know, and I say that because, man, listen, I don't respond. I'm not gonna respond to nothing that you put on the internet about me. Why? Why would I even put any energy into that? And I'll tell anybody else that. Like, why put any energy into that? Because if you put yourself out there, like, everybody's not gonna like you. It's just point blank. Everybody's gonna have their opinions about you, whether it's good or bad. And then sometimes in this world, like, and this might sound a little harsh, but man, sometimes in this world, you gotta be a demon. Sometimes you gotta be an angel. You just gotta be, you just gotta know at what point, man, do I need to be a demon right now? You know? Or do I need to be an angel? Because you can't always be an angel because you're gonna get ate alive for real. You know, it's just like sheep and the wolf. If you choose to be a sheep 24 hours of the day, guess what? Eventually you're gonna get ate. So.
And it don't feel good.
Yeah.
Definitely don't feel good, man. But you don't got time for that anyways. You doing big things out here, man. You flying city to city, state to state. Man, I heard you bought some land up there in Virginia, man. Tell me about it and what you doing on it.
Yeah, I bought 40 acres in West Virginia because I wanted to get in. I actually wanted to get into dairy farming. You know, like I said, I looked at it and I said it's something that I could build. You know, it's gonna take me some time, but I got the time to do that, whether 3 to 5 years. So I got a good group of people that's helping me navigate those waters. Like, I've been to a couple of the cattle auctions, just learning all about this, buying cows and chickens and all that, So it's just something I want to grow to be able to leave behind to my kids, So that's the type of stuff I'd be interested in. People might think like, well, man, dairy farming, that's big business. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I took that leap. And then I got the land for a good price. Got it for a real good price. So like, why not? Let's see where it goes. Let's see where it takes me to.
Yeah, man. Dairy is into everything. Dairy and most of the products we make around here.
Exactly.
So it only makes sense to follow the money trail, like you said.
Exactly.
Like you said before. What is the best advice you received?
Best advice that I received is this. I don't know if a lot of people don't. Yeah, they'll catch this. He told me. He said, "Inconvenience is a privilege." A lot of people may not get there, but because I ain't get it right out. But he told me inconvenience is a privilege, and what he meant by that was like, let's say you married, right?
Yeah.
Your wife, if she want to call your phone at 3, if y'all not together, y'all apart, but she want to call your phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, she can. If she want to call your phone at 4 o'clock in the morning, she can. If she want to call your phone at 12 o'clock, she can. Same thing with your kids, and the same thing with your mother. That's the inconvenience that they have. So if you allow anybody else, you can't allow other people to have that privilege, because everybody shouldn't have access to you. And people will drain you. They'll like, if I charge a fee to talk. You know what I'm saying? Because if I didn't do that, all the inboxes, all the emails I got, like, can you imagine me sitting on the phone talking for free and how much time I would waste? So when he told me, it made sense. Like, inconvenience is a privilege, and everybody's not gonna have the privilege to inconvenience me. And so that helped me out a whole lot. Okay, man, everybody can't have access to me. you know. So I say that was some of the best advice that I had received.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that one down and write it down. I like that, man. Because when you were speaking, it made me think about, you know, when I went through one of my biggest adversities just recently, 6 years in prison. That was a big inconvenience, but I came out stronger because of the things I learned and the thought patterns and from the oppression that I was under. It made me stronger. So I get what you're saying. Like, you can't let everybody have access to you.
Right.
Because in that moment, when you give somebody that access, they take it away from you, believe it or not.
Yeah, because you got to think, bro. You got to look at it like this. You should always try to remain a mystery. You know what I'm saying? You should always try to remain a mystery to the outside world. Because when you give up there, people get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? They get comfortable because I know him now. So you know, if you try to stay in that space, you'll be all right. When you shift outside that space, then you're reducing yourself. You're reducing yourself to something else where people feel like they can talk to you any kind of way. They may be able to treat you any kind of way, you know. And they just might forget, like, hey, you a king. Everybody can't have, like I said, everybody can't have access to the king. You know, so, you know, listen, take that. Yeah, man, this was fun.
One more thing before we go, man. Like you said, man, it costs a lot to get man here. Corey, man, you know I spent that bag, man. 'Cause you here speaking, you definitely don't speak for free, man. So I appreciate you stopping by. But one more thing for the up and coming entrepreneurs, give them some advice, mentor them, give them some good advice that they can go off of from this podcast.
Up and coming, what people that's trying to become entrepreneurs. What's the best advice I could give to them? That's what you're asking. Right?
Yes, sir.
If you're a person that's this, you know, everybody has dreams. That's the whole point of us going down the road of trying to become an entrepreneur or a business owner. I just always say you have to keep the same mindset that you have when it's a kid. Like you ask a kid something, they believe that they can do anything. They believe they can accomplish anything, right? But as they grow older, their faith and their confidence kind of fades, whether it be through school or whether it be through an adult telling them something that they might not be able to achieve. I'll say for up-and-coming entrepreneurs, if you can stay in that kid space, have that kid mentality and believe and dream like a kid and say, man, I can accomplish whatever it is that I've set my mind on, like I can accomplish that. If you can do that, and you can stay focused and stay in your lane, I say you will, in fact, you will reach your goal. Like it's probably that's my best advice. And I only can give that advice because that was me. I just stayed the course and I didn't let nobody distract me. I didn't let nobody make me believe that I couldn't accomplish whatever it is that I wanted to accomplish. I truly believe if I want to do something, I can do it. If I wanted to actually drive trucks. Okay, I can do it. I want to get in the dairy farm. Let me do the research. I can do this. If I wanted to get into roofing, like I can do this too. So that's my best advice. Dream like a kid. Dream like a kid and turn those dreams into reality as an adult. So that's my best advice.
Thank you, man. I got Corey P. Smith here, man. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it for dropping down.
I'm like, damn.
Man, I'm nervous as hell. I ain't never did this a day in my life.
For those who do not know about me, you can reach me at CoreyPSmith.com. That's my website. Or you can Google me just by simply typing in Corey P. Smith. I'm on Facebook as Corey P. Smith. Instagram, Corey P. Smith. TikTok, Corey P. Smith. My books are available anywhere books are sold. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. They're on Audible, Kindle. So, yeah, y'all tap in. Get some of that good information.